All right. Thank you. Thank you for joining me, man. Thank you. First of all, can anybody hear me? I think there's a problem going on in my area with the Wi-Fi. Can anybody hear me? Elijah, good to see you, brother. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, if I can be heard, can you type a one? Can I be heard? I don't know if I can be heard using my microphone. If anyone can hear me, can you type a one? Let me know if I'm coming through. All right, good, good. Thanks, bro. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Got a problem here. My phone is not working. Can't use it, so don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi. But thanks, bro. Appreciate it. All right, thank you, creator, especially. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to say something that will encourage brethren. And thank you, Omi. Good to see you, Omi. Good to see you, brother. Thank you again, creator, for letting me try to be a servant to my brethren, the faithists of the OAHSPE Bible, and to just do my best to try to let them see a brother who's like them and trying to live according to, trying to follow you, trying to learn your word and share your light. And I realize you say in your word that there's only going to be few brethren who are going to be able to follow you, going to be able to attain to your voice. And I count it a great joy to be one of them. And it's just a pleasure to be able to actually see other brethren who believe, they think and share the same things I do. We're a small, very few, privileged, highly privileged group of people. And the world, creator, it weighs heavy on us with the unbelief in the world. We can't really talk to anybody. There's a great AG, it seems, in the world right now, where there's a great conflict and with the just a general affliction that's everywhere. It seems. I mean, economically and just it seems like man is on a downward spiral. It seems like he just can't help himself. And we read the other day in your word, we were learning about AG, creator, that you said that when you bring AG, then society, it becomes like a grasping warfare type of society, and it has a dual effect. AG, it's you from what I can understand, creator, you said it has something like a dual effect, where the faithists, they will ascend, and those who are in decline, they will just continue to decline. I don't know how it works exactly, but I just give thanks that you have given this information to us, so that it's bittersweet, and we don't desire anyone to come into any kind of condemnation or any kind of chaos or any kind of affliction, but we realize that that's just the way it has to be. We read where you sunk Pan, the continent of Pan, because the iniquity had got so great that there was a chance that it could affect the faith. So, creator, thank you for giving me the opportunity to try to share with my brethren. Please bless me, anoint me, let me think and say and do things that will it will help us to continue on and to leave the world behind, leave the materialism, and leave the conflict and division and the appeal to our tetracts, and just let us spend this time that we're in this reality wisely, so that we can make the kingdom with our highest self and our highest expression and our highest abode in the spiritual. Thank you, creator. Tone lowly. All right, brother. Good to see you. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Good. I'm glad. If you bless my soul as well. That's one of the reasons for this channel. I have it because I want to be able to be somewhere close to other faithists. I just want to try to be in touch with other faithists. And if you listen to my videos, I talk about, I'm a brother. I consider myself to be a very needy brother. I just have to, somehow I got to see the creator every day. I have to be able to one way or another see them every day. I see them primarily in people. The power of, I'm going to read. Matter of fact, let me do something real quick. Let me make sure that I can share my screen when I need to share it. This is what I'm going to be reading from. If you can see it, you probably won't be able to see it. If I can't share it, then I don't think I can do this for the video. If it won't let me share it, I'm going to have to figure out a way. And don't give me an option to share my screen. Now, I'm going to have to figure out a way right here. I want to share my screen. It's a document, though. And doggone it, I might not be able to. I got to figure this out right here. I really want to share this with you, brethren. Dr. Kendall, he did a summary on the OAHSPE. Now, right here, let me try to figure it out. Shoot. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I'm gonna have to shoot. How do you? The creator will help me. Watch. You guys are gonna see live and in color how the creator's gonna deal with me. Okay, now how do I do this? 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 Okay, now how do I do this? How do I do this? Creator, how can I share my screen? I want to share. How do I share this? I have this on Microsoft Word. I have this document on Microsoft Word, and I want to share it. I need to be able to share this screen. I don't know how to do it right now, creator. How do I share this screen? I don't see an option to share my screen. No, how can I share this screen? And just like that, I think I got the answer. How do you like that? Now, I don't know. Maybe that's not it, but let's see. Now, how do you do this? How do I do that? How do I do this? How do I do it? How do I do it? Now, shoot, how do I do this? I can't spend too much time trying to figure this out, creator. Now, I can go to it won't open if I went to the mail. I should have tried to figure this out beforehand. I don't know how to share Microsoft Word. Okay. Now, let's see. How do I do this? How do I do this? Now, I saved it, but let me go here. And see if I can open this some type of way. Nope, I don't know if I'm going to be able to figure it out. Let's see. All right, I can't try to figure it out. I can't. It's going to take too much time. And plus my computer's acting funny. I didn't think to try. I thought I would be able to. It would be just like any other presentation, but the document that I want to share, it's on Microsoft Word. Now I can't even find it. Shoot. Well, I got to stop. Yeah, I can't try to think, Okay, I can't try it. It's a document that Brother Kendall did. He did a summary of the OAHSPE, each book. Now I can see it. I got it on my computer, but there's I can't figure out a way right now to share Microsoft Word. Let's see if anybody's saying anything. I wasn't in the chat, so let me look and see what's going on. All right, no suggestions or anything. I can't figure out a way. I feel like, oh, man, I'm on the verge of trying to, being shown how to do it, but I can't. Just can't. Let me see. I'm sorry to be putting you brethren through this. This is something I really want to share it, man, because it's what he did is he summarized all the books of the OAHSPE. And so for brethren that are maybe a little new to the OAHSPE, this is a good thing to get you a somewhat of a foundation. Right now I'm typing in the title to try to save it to my computer. And if I can save it to my computer, then it'll become a document, and I think I'll be able to open it up and then share it on my screen so I can read from it. So just bear with me a little more, and see if the Creator will give me some wisdom so that I can bring it out. I think I might have been given some, so I'm in the process of trying to do it right now. But he did I don't know how long he's been working on this, but he's done a real service to everybody by summarizing condensing the OAHSPE, all the books for our learning. I'm trying to get away with figuring out how to open it and see if the Creator will give me grace to do it right here on video, on the fly. Let's see. Just bear with me. Keep with me for a little while, brother. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. Now, I don't know. I have to find out. I don't think that I'm going to be able to do this. Share this screen. Okay, I got to give up. I don't think the Creator's going to tell me how to do it just yet. Oh, that is really too bad. I wanted to. I can't figure out how to do it. I cannot figure out how to do it. Let's see. I'm still trying to one last try. And let's see, present screen. Nope, got to give it up. Can't do it. Can't figure it out. Have to wait another time. So it's on Microsoft Word, so I can't. It's a file on Microsoft Word, and I don't think there's a way to share it on StreamYard. I don't know why that is. But I'll figure it out and I'll bring it to you on another video, hopefully tomorrow. If I can remember to try to figure out how to do it. So anyway, it's all right. It's gonna, I just have to delay it. And again, it's a summary. He did a summary of all the books of the OAHSPE, and really good and easy to read, give you a good foundation. Like one of the things that I read that I didn't know was that it talked about how Cervantes was from, let me see, what did it say? It says something like, actually, I can see it and y'all can't. So I can even read from it what it was saying about Cervantes, something about how he was of another, what did it say? Let me see if I can find that real quick. I'm reading it. You can't see it. And this summary is the first book of the First Lords. And this is the account. The account is talking about, it mentions Greta James. That's a sister. She's done a study. She's done a lot of study and made some on the OAHSPE, and he drew from her work and some of the things that she said. And it mentions that, I'm looking for what it had to say about Cervantes, how he was a god that didn't know about let's see, I can't find the part that I want. He was talking about Cervantes, how Cervantes was, I think, the first god, and how he did not know corporal life, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I know you, brethren, will correct me, but if I can just read that small part out, I'd be happy. And I'm just trying to read it right now, and so I can share it. He made a statement about Cervantes, and if I'm not mistaken, he was placed over the earth, and he never had a chance to experience earth life. Shoot, this is or actually, now I just got some wisdom. I have figured out how to do it. I think so. I could put it right, copy and paste it. I can copy and paste all of this. How do you like that? And put it on Notepad or some other, well, probably can't do that either. All right, I was looking for the part where he said something about Cervantes and something to the effect of he was a god that didn't get a chance to experience corporal life. Now, I could be misquoting what he said, but he talked about there are other gods from other worlds, and they some of them are assigned to the earth, and they have never lived earth life, and they are given a chance to experience corporal life. And I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean, he says first God of the earth and heaven, but some of the hosts of angels did not experience corporal life. Yeah, that's what I wanted to bring out. Man, it's killing me that. Are you saying Stantes 10? It mentioned that he had been. I don't know. I can't remember. I can't put it together. But it mentioned how he had not experienced corporal life, or he was born into another world, and then he was assigned to this world to experience the life in this reality, and to also administrate it, and to get the process of man's evolution going. And I thought that was pretty. It was, to let you know about the Etherian gods, and some earthborn, some not, and so I'll learn how to do that, how to put it on the screen. And it's really a great study that he did. He did a great service. So, all right. So what I'm going to do in place of that then is I'm going to go to my room, and I'm going to draw from the things that I like to post. And I think I mentioned some things. I posted some things from the study that he had did. But just if I may, digress for a second. And well, first of all, here's my mom's food ministry. And like I say, if I ever find out about an orphan, a disabled or elderly brethren, and they need to be ministered to, and if I am contacted, I can certainly be contacted if I can help out some type of way, so far as the food and other basics of life that people need. I certainly am not afraid to be contacted. Brethren, there's my information right there. Here's my room for brethren who want to have fellowship, and where I just like to share from the OAHSPE along with other brethren. There are a couple other rooms that I belong to. This is one of them. This brother Omian's room right here, where you could join and have fellowship with different brethren. And then his other room is another place brethren can join with. Well, that's my room. So where is his room? This thing is funny. Sometimes you click on one of his rooms, and it brings up the other room, and you never know which room you're going to get. So here's his other room, that if somebody is, whatever, wants to, have fellowship, you can join this room, and the same thing goes on where verses are posted for. So brethren can keep going, man. That's the objective, so that you can take your mind and try to have something to think about. And that is super important. The creator, he just seems, our minds and what we do with it, and how easily it can be distracted, and how we can be kind of led away. And it's easy in this reality to do that. We looking at a world where we are in a strange place where you can't really talk to anybody. You got a battle outside, and you got a battle inside. You got the tetracts that they're constantly tearing at you, trying to put your light out and get you to be frustrated, or get you to lash out and to be negative. And then you got the vibration of the world, where we are in a great darkness right now. We talked about AG the other day, and how AG, from what I can understand, it's a time when men need it, the Creator brings it. And when man reaches such a low point, that the Creator, in his wisdom, he sends these periods of time. Like we looked at Gia the other day. And AG, Gia is like pandemics, diseases, that sort of thing. What I could do is go ahead and do bring up some more verses where it talked about AG, and speak a little bit more on that, because it's amazing to me that we're in a situation. It's like people, we don't learn until it's too late. We just don't learn until it's too late. And you fake this. I posted, wait till you see some of the things I posted in the room about how the Creator says that you, brethren, are going to be the power of the world. The power of the world. And the interesting thing is how he hides himself. He hides himself and reveals himself to the children to let them know what season that we are in, and so that we may prepare ourselves and we can attain to his voice. We know that the marching orders for us we know our marching orders is to be able to mature, to elevate in our spirit. Don't nothing really else matter. Even if you have like you have all knowledge. It seems like when you talk about the Creator, his objective, the thing that he really seems to place a premium on, is whether or not you can learn to live in peace, harmony, love with your brethren. It's simple as that. I know we live in a reality where men, they place a premium on what you know, your knowledge. That's really what is respected in this day and age. If the system is built around that. People who have that ability, they usually are compensated very well, except in the spiritual. You can know a lot about the OAHSPE, and really this information that we're learning is priceless. Brethren, this information is priceless. Because why? Because the Creator is telling us what matters for an eternity. For an eternity, he tells us that we're here, we're in the womb, we're here in the body, and which is a womb for the spirit, and cross over, and then that's when we are born again. And then when we cross over like that, we don't die no more. That's it. You're in the spirit now, and you go to wherever your mind is. If it's under a deity, if it's under idolatry, you go there. If it's under the Creator, then you go there. As simple as that. That's all there is, man. That's all there is. I was talking to somebody today, and he said, yeah, man, I was going to pick somebody up. I had to go to the VA today and make an appointment. So I talked with the driver. He said, yeah, I was going to pick somebody up. And then the lady, her son called me and said, that's, forget it. She's gone. And it's like, you think about a faith. Well, me as a faithist, I be thinking about that. I don't let that slide. Even if I didn't know the person, somebody cross over like that, I don't let it slide. I think I let it be a lesson to me. And so I say to myself, I hope that whoever the person was, I hope that they were prepared, man, because now all the things that they thought were important in the material realm don't really matter anymore. Matter of fact, it has a lingering effect on you. That's how serious and dangerous this situation that we in is, because it has the power to distract and to, the dainties of the current reality. I'm sorry it sounds redundant, but I'm telling the truth, man. The Creator, he makes these things too easy for us. Everybody really knows. Call me strange, man, but I think that everybody really knows what it's all about, man. It's all about we're here. We got, I was reading the Creator. He said something. Matter of fact, let me see. I'm looking at some AG verses here, but I shared something. Let me look at my screen and see if, make sure I'm sharing this. I read somewhere the Creator, he said something like, oh shoot, it had something to do with our elevation, and I'm forgetting it. I know I'm going to come across it because I posted it in the room, and I can't remember on the tip of my tongue. But I can say this, that over and over again, man, the creator, he constantly tells you, I mean, we be reading the OAHSPE. We read about the mistakes that people have made, and primarily how the Tetracts, the fallen gods, and how the creator is using them to teach us a lesson about ourselves, the world we live in. And still, we're under the threat of, when I read about fallen gods, it concerns me. I mean, gods who are high raised and they fall, they get up to the second resurrection and they fall. They fall to pride. They want to be important. They want the kingdom of their own. How that happens, I can't even, fathom it right now why that is. But it tells me that there's still that desire, even in the spiritual, where I mean, you hear in this, even in this reality, the desire for preeminence among men is real strong. Where you desire to be the leader of men, you desire to be, I mean, that spirit is strong in man. I'm just looking at some AG verses. I'm gonna grab hold of one of these verses and expound on it a little bit when I find one. But that's one of the things that I believe that the creator, he gives me to share, that it's a dangerous thing that we have this spirit, the best of us, we still struggle with the Tetracts, the evil vibration, the desire to be in front of our brethren and not to serve our brethren, want to be honored, want to be respected. And I'm not saying that that's altogether a bad thing, but I'm saying that we seem to be everybody. I mean, you can take it too far. You can become self-absorbed. And I want to share something else too, man. I hope that we make it. I hope that we as a brotherhood of faith, I hope we can make it, man. I mean, deal with the imperfection and the imbalance that we currently going through, and be able to still see the creator, be able to suffer it. He makes it pretty serious. Creator is making some pretty serious changes in this reality, talking about changing from a herbivorous man or from a carnivorous man to a herbivorous man. These are things that are pretty tough to do, even to look at, to turn your attention from, the Tetracts, and turn your attention from the critical mind to the positive, to the spiritual mind. These are things that, I mean, these are our struggles that, I can't see what he tells us not to eat meat and it'll blunt your spiritual growth. I don't see how I can do it, but I believe what he says. Let me see what this verse says real quick. It says, thus suppose the people's grade runs below 33, but not as low. I was talking about this the other day, talking about aging. It says, now what book is this real quick, just to see what book. This is Cosmogony. It says, now suppose the people's grade runs below 33, but not as low as 22. And such a people fall under AG for a period of 66 years, or even more. It says, then war, destruction, death, and lust will come upon that people. And so that's why I was saying the other day, after looking at Cal's video, that I've deduced that, looking back, that we have been in a time where ever since 2022, at least, that war has begun to show began to manifest itself on the face of the earth, starting with what came about in Russia and Ukraine, and how it started off kind of innocuously, kind of pretty impotently, and it has grown. And now we have another conflagration with Israel and Gaza and Hezbollah and Yemen, and looks like soon to be other nations, because when you consider the situation and and I've concluded that it must be a time of AG coming on the earth. And if that is the case, then the creator, he says these things that number one, it has a dual purpose, where basically the faith is somehow they are going to rise, just keep rising. I don't know how that works exactly, but and those below the grade, that they will just continue to decline. Let's see if the things that the verses that I'm going to go to will say the exact same thing. It says, thus supposed people's grade runs below 33, but not as low as 22, meaning that more and more you don't got the ability to do anything for your brethren, to serve them, to be selfless. If it is true that we have fallen to such a level, even below 33, and we're at the time of age, so the creator is saying that we've reached nationally, globally, a grade that is so low that it's hard for us to, our service to one another we're just farther and farther away from what we're supposed to be. And I'm gonna say something too. I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna just be real. I'm gonna just tell the truth, man. I'm a vet and I go to the VA for care, and I don't know how to say it, but I really suspect that institution. They are very suspect. And I'm going to be brutally honest, man. I wonder if there is a division of care for one type of people as opposed to another type of people. And not only just with the VA, but with other institutions as well. They have equity distribution programs that we do not know how if they are being equitably distributed or not. That's the world we live in, where I'm talking about division of resources. We don't know whether there is a system in place to defraud one group of people in favor of another group of people, and you really cannot prove otherwise. And that very well could be the case. And we live under a governance where you don't know what goes on. And there are some things that you can see out front, like when you brethren are struggling, you American citizens are struggling and you need resources, and you have one hell of a time accessing these things. But you see, when you read in the media, and we give all kinds of foreign aid to other nations and people, and it's for spurious reasons, because we give the aid and it comes back to the officials who orchestrated. You probably do know that, right? And the only good thing that we can say is the creator. He sees all that. He knows the things that we do not know. We write down contracts and laws and constitutions, and we talk about how all these high ideas, and that's what America was set up to be. And the creator, he said that we have not lived up to our words. Brother, you still in that situation today where that's the type of rulership that we are under. I mean, these are like things that are like an AG2, where the creator, he allows leaders to take over, and they are very good at being surreptitious, underhanded, very deceptive. They know we under a situation where there are people who rule over us who know that words have an undue, people who rule and they use words, they mortgage a lot of things that they do on words, words, words. Hey, brother. Hey, Chuck-a-luck. That's my brother, man. All right, man. Thanks for checking in. Thanks for checking in, bro. That's a shock. Good to see you. How's Horse doing? Horse is his dog. All right, bro. Thanks for checking in. Oh, my birthday's tomorrow, but thank you, bro. Okay, you exposing me. Yeah, tomorrow I turn 96 years old, man. Or actually, what is it? 92? I'll be 92 years old. Oh, Horse is eating? All right, let him eat. Let the big dogs eat. Yeah, brother, I'll be 92 tomorrow. Actually, that's 62, but turned backwards. All right, brother. Nah, tomorrow. Yeah, right on. Thanks, bro. Thank you for remembering me. I appreciate that. Yeah. So anyway, I know what the creator, that's a good thing about the OAHSPE is that the creator, he sees save me some cake. I don't eat. Well, every now and then I do reach in there and grab a handful of cake, but I don't hardly eat any sweets anymore. Shoot, man, that's another thing. It ain't till you get older, man, you learn about sugar and salt. I mean, that's a terrible shame, man. All your life you be eating this stuff and you don't know the effect that it's having on you. And I think it's one of the ways. I know that the creator the other day, he was telling me, or it was, I seem to be thinking that it's an important time to be able to deal with our appetites, because discipline, it seemed like discipline is a big part of being able to control your appetite. And I believe I'm really learning how important, when you talk about the OAHSPE and trying to gain this wisdom. I'm thinking that when the AG that we're talking about, I think it makes people, their desires, their passions have more influence. I could be wrong, but it seems that that's what will test people, their character. Materialism has a strong effect on our character, whether we will compromise it or not. And the effect is, I seem to think when I read the OAHSPE that we're called to have this character where we can put down. I think the Tetracts, it deals a lot about trying to attack your weaknesses, either whether it's spiritual, whether it's material, that we're called to, that is the thing. If we can get over that, if we can just get over, because it's really about dealing with ourselves. So, the Ethereans, from what I seem to learn, they've gotten free of the Tetracts. The third is it Etheria, or is it the third resurrection? I think I'm going to show you where it's posted, where I posted it in my room. It says here, thus supposed people's grade runs below 33, but not as low as 22. And such people fall under AG for a period of 66 years or even more. Then war, destruction, death, and lust will come upon that people. But suppose the same fall of AG comes upon a people graded above 33 to 66. Then war, intellect, with oratory, music, and remarkable men of genius will result. So it's like Creator, he says, AG falls has effect on one group of people concerning their spiritual grade. And then it says, but suppose the same fall of AG comes upon a people graded above 33 to 66. They fall in this group. And then he mentions war. I was sharing the other day. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. War, and brethren who are ascending. I mean, I don't get it. And then it says things that you would expect for somebody who's ascending and they're elevating in their spiritual grade. It says their intellect with oratory, their music, and remarkable men of genius will result. And see, that goes along again with what's going on right now in this reality. Pluto going into Aquarius. One of the things that marks this period of time that we living in, you talk about great advancements in technological things that have to do with humanitarian, things that make things better for brotherhood of man. And so the Creator is saying AG falls, and this is the effect it has on people who are rising in their spiritual grade. It has an effect to the positive for one group of people, has an effect to the negative for another group of people. And then it says, but to carry still further, the same fall of AG coming on a people above 66. How do you like that? So you got people who get up to grade 66 from 33 to 66. The Creator, he mentions them. And then you got people from 66 who are above 66. And Creator, he says that AG, the fall of AG will cause them to manifest. It says they will manifest many lords, gods, and saviors, and in superstitions, rites, and ceremonies, which all will more or less pertain to sexualism. Now, I don't get it. I remember reading this, and I don't get that sexualism part. I don't know what that, I looked at the definition, and it seems to just have a carnal definition of, talked about anything that, passion and attractiveness and, that sort of thing. And I didn't really get any spiritual. I couldn't really, but I couldn't really compute, spiritually what it's saying in the spiritual sense. But he says that there's an effect on those above 66. It says this when AG falls on people, and then those who are above the grade 66, it will cause them to manifest many lords, gods, and saviors. Now, the superstitions part, I don't get that. And the rites and ceremonies, I kind of do understand that. Now, verse 10, it says, and so the prophet can determine by vortexian currents the rise and fall of nations. And wouldn't you love to know how to compute vortexian currents? And I have to think that what the Creator is saying is that when vortexian currents, when they slow down, then the vibration on the man, I guess it means their ability to receive the light. I can't say for sure, but when you're talking about slowing down, I think that it has something to do with the spiritual, with the growth, our ability to grow spiritually, hear things, and attain to the Creator's voice gets harder and harder. I could be wrong, but that's what seems to come to my mind. And so the prophet, verse 10, and so the prophet can determine by the vortexian currents the rise and fall of nations, and also comprehend how differently even the same showers and shadows of the unseen worlds will affect different peoples. So he's saying that he says the prophet especially can determine by the vortexian currents the rise and fall of nations. Let me see if there's a good definition for that. Let me see if there's a good definition for vortexian currents. Let's see if they have a definition for vortexian currents. It says there are matches. Let me share this. It says there are multiple matches for vortexian currents. It's the behavior of vortices in the ocean, the generation of charged current vortices, and the current density in auroral vortices. So there's ocean vortexes, there's charged current vortices. So they got these different vortices, but whether they have a way to measure these things, wouldn't you like to know that, man? Because if these things are like slowing down, then that's the creator seems to say the density that we are currently in, it gets that much thicker. Now, here's probably a study where if we read it, it says, let me read this a little bit. It says the maximum current that can be carried by a long, unbiased superconducting tunnel. Okay, so that's a little detailed language. I don't think that we can get anything out of that. So here's, I think if we wanted to know how we could learn what the vortexing currents, if they're speeding up or if they're slowing down. And I would have to venture that they are slowing down, and because AG, from what I can understand, is in the land, and it just gets thicker and thicker, and men in their actions become more and more degraded. Creator, he says that if you can learn what the vortexian currents are, it says you can determine the rise and fall of nations. You can determine the rise and fall of nations, and also comprehend how differently even the same showers and shadows of the unseen worlds will affect different people. Look at that. How do you like that? Got to share the tab here. Trying to share the tab, won't let me. Let's see. Share the tab. There we go. But wouldn't you like to know that, man? Wouldn't you like to know what the vortexian? It gave us like 5, so I guess there's your study right there. You track down some studies on the internet and see if they're speeding up or if they're slowing down, and then that should compare. It should coincide with the things that are going on in the earth. There's your answer right there. Creator says that way you can determine the rise and fall of nations. I mean, I can see how that would be. Develop a pattern. If there's a pattern of decline, then you can extrapolate that out and see where the eventual end of the thing leads. How long it'll go on before it reaches zero. I pray that I can get there where I can understand the vortex. I trust I will as I go on, learn about, and really it's like, the brother was saying the other day on video, all of it is just a matter of cyclic learning the cycles of things, and that way you learn to prophesy. It says, and the same rules apply in the manifestation of Dan, the high time, the enlightened time. When light falls, it says, according to the grade of a people, so will they receive its light. According to the grade of a people, so they will receive its light. So it's like, if you are high raised grade, your grade's pretty high, and you really have dedicated, you really believe the creator, man. You dedicate yourself and, study, meditate, pray, that sort of thing. And more you're like that, creator is saying, the more light comes to you. And again, if I may say, man, it sounds like the situation that we're in. If you struggle with trying to love the light, to learn it, to practice it, it's like the creator says, okay, if that's really your desire, I'll give you more ability to access to more expose you to more of it, but according to your choice, if you want to digress from if you want to digress from the light, then that's your choice. And the creator, he let you have your free will. It says if below 33, if the grade is below 33, he says that if we're below the grade of 33, that they will become magicians and prophets without virtue. We looked at the other day, T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar, and Joel Osteen, and I'm pointing them out. I'm naming names. It's like I know there are men who seize on merchandising the gospel. It's easy money, good living, you're honored, highly respected. Tone Lowly says it's like batteries. Can't use a car battery on a calculator. Too much life for a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, information overload. That's a good point, bro. Yeah. I can dig it. Dave the other day, brother Dave, he was talking about, or actually, no, it wasn't. It was, what was I thinking of? It's like, I think Dave was sharing, he was sharing about how he said every now and then he astral travels. He's able to travel astrally, meaning he can leave his body and go to the spiritual realm. And I think he was saying how he looked up, or he knew that there was a level that he could not reach, and it was just too much light, and you won't be able to handle it. So I understand that the spiritual realms are like that. We can't go to just any old level because we just wouldn't be able to handle it. It would be like information overload. And so it's not like Creator, he don't want you to ascend to the highest possible level. It's like, you go to it's like, let's say in this reality, you know what I mean? You go to a party or something, everybody's dressed up, and you come in, tank top and shorts. You feel out of place, Maybe you didn't learn it was a formal affair. And so you show up and everybody's decked out and you come looking like, you straight from the fields, You feel out of place. See, Tone Lowly says, can you stare at the sun with your eyes? Right. Yeah, good point. You need shades. That's a good point. Yeah. I mean, the light and density levels, and, it makes sense, man. Everywhere you turn, the Creator, he just makes too much sense, man. His thing with free will, how he let us do our thing. He just let you do your thing, man. The Creator just let you do your thing. Let you do your thing. It's ultimate freedom, man, with responsibility that, he says if the AG falls and you're below grade 33, you'll become magician, prophets without virtue. Now, again, I'm thinking of like people like T.D. Jakes and Creflo Dollar. Yeah, I'm naming them. I'm saying their name. Joel Osteen, because, I won't speak for anybody else. I'll just speak for myself. I know when somebody, like the Creator, he don't put a vibration on me where I look dead at a man's character. So that a couple reasons. So I could learn to see the Creator, and so that I can make sure I do to straighten up, so that I can learn not to deceive myself. I look at a man's character and see what I can learn from it. When you look at these people, they up here, they preaching the word of God. They swearing up and down about how God is good and God is real. And then they go home to their mansions, and they're obviously people, man, that need help, and they don't mind taking up 3-4, givings, offerings a day. It's easy. Even a child can see, man, there's something wrong with this. It ain't the spirituality of the Creator. We read that the other day. So the Creator, it's like if we didn't have these examples, it would be hard to see. But It says if they're below grade 33, they'll become magicians and prophets, and they, without virtue, won't have no virtue. And that's our realities. Get everything is about get it while you can, get it for yourself. It's like selfishness. That's the thing. And it's something that we've been taught for a long time. The people that get put in front of us. I mean, the example is that I got mine, could care less whether you get yours or not. And so from who knows how long we've grown up with that spirit in us to just consider ourselves. And I think even that cross over into the spiritual. Yeah, where this knowledge, you can get it, and then you can still be really self-focused. I mean, self-focused in the sense that you fall in love with you want to be worshiped. You want other brethren to worship you. I think that's a possibility. Even as a faithless, that strong vibration, you realize your knowledge is better than most other brethren, and you use it to separate yourself. You use it to get the acknowledge the honor and the respect of your brethren, and it comes off of you that you have a sense of self that is elevated and not in a way that's not good. See, I don't know. I mean, I read the OAHSPE and the Creator. It seems like the higher you elevate, it's like the lower that. What's a good way to say? The more that you humble yourself and you desire to elevate your brother, you desire to, that's the message. It seems easy to me. You have more of this desire to serve your brother, to, in other words, like root for your brother, for him to have it just as good, if not better, than yourself. That's what the Creator seems to be taught. What he really seems to respect. He really seems to acknowledge that. The Ethereans, I mean, that sounds like a reality of brethren who are just consistently trying to look out for their brethren around them to do what is right. I mean, they have no issues. They're not subject to the tetracts. I mean, a whole world, a whole creation, who knows, probably billions of these people. A whole nother reality, man. We can't even imagine it. But again, the Creator said, if you're below grade 33, you will become a magician or a prophet, and you'll be without virtue. It says if you're above 33 but below 66, you'll become self-opinion. See, this is the age you've fallen, and you're in a certain grade, and the effect that it'll have on the righteous and let's say the ripe and the unripe. You know what I mean? The Creator, he describes everybody as ripe or unripe. Ripe or unripe. And then he says for those who are unripe, and they're above 33, and they're below 66, they become self-opinionated, malefactors, running into licentiousness for self's sake. See, it's like the self, Satan, is still strong, even up to people who are above 33 to 66. Satan is still strong. Satan is the self. See, Tone, he says, I'm guilty of it. I can say, I'm guilty of it, I can say, but I'm humbled by brothers and sisters like you all. I need more love from my brothers and sisters, but it feels like I got too much of love sometimes. I'd love to have that feeling. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, Antonio. Yeah, I think that to be able to admit it, you know, that's the start right there. That's the faith that's right there. To be able to admit to things, it seemed to me, that's the creator right there. To be able to admit to it. Yeah, I believe that's the creator talking right there. You know, we live in a situation where it's like strength is lifted up in the sense that the carnal man's sense of what strength is what being a man is. It's like we got it backwards. And then let's see, it says, but if above 66, if your brother, you're ascending and you're above 66, the positive effect of the aging, what it'll have on you. It says if above 60, if you're above the grade 66, meaning like what? 1/3, 2/3? Is 66, 33, and 1/3, 2/3? In other words, that if you're above 66, then that means you're spending 3/4 of your time in pursuit of the creator and attaining of the light and service to your brother. Wouldn't that be above the grade 66? And then 40% of your time, let's say, it's kind of like you got 3/4 of one leg in the kingdom and you got a quarter of your leg in the world. So it's like that's the best I can describe it. For brethren who want to judge themselves, want to look at themselves, want to see what grade you may possibly be at. Creator seems like he's saying that the more that, and it's only really something that you can know, what your mind is, what your day goes like during the day, what you think about. Do you think about striking it rich? The mansion, the house on the hill, and spend your days and wondering what, wishing that you might be able to, to have this or that. And I think the creator is saying that determines your spiritual grade, your thoughts and actions, they go hand in hand, that sort of thing. Creator says if you're above 66, you'll become true prophets, man, abnegating self for the sake of righteousness. The creator seems that he's telling you what it's really, again, what it's all about, man. What it's all about, So we going on here. I didn't expect to read this, so we going on. Let the student compare the Faithus and Capelia in India with the Kojuans of the same country in the same period. And the Faithus of Moses in Egypt with the Egyptians of the same country and period. He says the Faithus of both countries advanced, but their persecutors went down to destruction. And it's like, that's true, man. That's the lesson of life right there. You know it is. It ain't, we don't need to run around and, one thing I see in this reality is an endless pursuit of knowledge when really, I wonder if that's really necessary. To me, it's like eating too much food. And I think the creator seemed to be telling me, learn how to eat enough for the day. I know that this light, this word, it tastes good. It tastes good. And I'm guilty of it. I be sharing like crazy on the rooms on Facebook because it's just I just can't stop myself. I love it. I ain't never seen nothing like this word. I ain't never seen nothing like this word. And so I don't want to sound like I'm above anybody else. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that when you love something, it'll show. I've never been in love like this. I to that I can attest, man, with human or anything. I've never been in love like this, and I hope that it never goes away. It could, that's another danger right there. You can all of a sudden, one day just disappear. You just, your mind just changed. That's another thing right there. You see it all the time, people. I remember having a friend, and we were best buddies one day, and then the next day he just became a totally different person. He became he just became a different person. I think that life is like that. Pray against that you feel like you know it all and you can't learn no more. And, I think that's a real danger. It says compare the peace of the people of India and Kojuan. So evidently people in the same country, and compare the people of the Faithists with those who were in Egypt. Creator, he says, the peace of the Faithists held for 400 years. It says the Faithists of both these countries, they were advanced, but their persecutors went down to destruction. So the Faithists, one thing that we should what we can look forward to is that we staring at our reality, and people are not able to get along with one another, and these people got abilities to destroy the whole earth. And here the Creator, he's saying, all right, but I'm going to take my people, and I ain't going to let them go down to destruction. That's what he's saying right here. Sound like to me, the Faithists of both, he gives you an example of people who the Faithists were cohabitating with people, and they were cohabitating with the Uzzians, and the Creator, he brings an event, and he kept his people from going down to destruction while allowing those who didn't want to attain to his voice. He let them basically have their way, and they go down to destruction. He says, basically, history has proven to you the way the way he does things. He says the peace of the faith is held for 400 years, and then both peoples began to choose kings, which was followed by 990 years of darkness. So I think he's talking about the Israelites in the Old Testament, and talking about how we wanted to have a king over us. I could be mistaken, but it sounds like that's what he's saying here. And when that happened, we went down to destruction. Wanted to have a man, someone born of a woman, over us, same way in the world today. Deity, idolatry, worship. It's just so ingrained in man. He got to have something he can look at. He got to have something he can see in order for him to believe it. It's a terrible shame, man, because people who they run for office, they know the money that they can make and the good life they can live, and they know about that human weakness of, I'm telling you, man, they know that all they got to do is get up there, talk to you with assurance. Everything's going to be all right, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. People fall for it ever since we've had that type of system. Now I'm going to say something. I'm going to get political for a second here. I'm going to digress for just a second, okay? This really has no place in a faith study, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to share it. I'm going to do a little character study. I'm going to be opinionated here. And I like to look at Donald Trump. Here's a man with no substance, no character. He'll say anything. He blows with the wind, and he knows how to play people. He's one of the most dangerous. I mean, the candidates, and I'll just, the people who are like the candidates running for office, I don't have anything really nice to say about both of them. I don't even really have anything nice to say about both of them. And they're both air signs. And so knowing what we can be like, me talking, speaking for myself, knowing what air signs can be like and looking at them, it's like they are just an open book. The vibration that these candidates are under, and it's basically what I'm trying to get at is that these are people, and they're like a lot of people who run for office and they want to be leaders and rule over people. But these two people, Trump and Kamala Harris, one's always smiling, like everything. She's disconnected from reality. You know, you can't live in a world like this and you always smiling like it ain't nothing. It just show a lack of character. It show a lack of substance. And then you got Trump. He'll get up there. He'll say anything. He'll do anything for a vote. He's a flim-flam man. I shouldn't say that, man. You know, a man without substance. But he knows that if he can just be polished enough as a speaker, then he can hide. He can make people forget that he's just as corrupt as the rest of them. And that's the type of system that we live under, and it gets worse every year. We can't go on like this. We can't go on, man, where I know this is not the kingdom of God. This is, I mean, from what I can see, I'll be listening to people, I'll be looking at people, I'll be learning about people. And, you know, it seems like everywhere, it seemed like lately, I don't know why, but I be striking up conversations and talking to people, and the stories, I just can't recall. I mean, maybe the, you know, inclination, the inclination is to focus on negativity with the human spirit, it seems like. But talking to people, the first things that come out of their mouth is their problems. You know, the not having enough money, or some issue, some event that's going on, and to me, that's whatever is first and foremost in a person's mind. That's what's going to come out. And when I be talking to people, sharing or just listening, the first thing that come out, it ain't going to be about the Creator. It ain't going to be. Matter of fact, today I was at the VA for an appointment, and this sister, she came up to me. She said, "Hey, how you doing?" And I said, "I'm fine." I said, "How are you?" She said, "I'm blessed." And when you say that to me, that's a key word. That's a key word. Not as much as it used to be anymore. What I mean by key word is that I'll stop you, and I'll start sharing about, I'll try to flesh it out. Like, you say you're blessed. What do you mean by that? Tell me how, I try to strike up some conversation. So that's what I did with her. And I was waiting for an appointment. I was due to go in any second, and I was walking with her to the cafeteria, And so I told her I have to be brief because I had to get back and make the appointment. And so I was trying to tell her, I said, "You said you're blessed. And if you really mean it, then, I told her about the OAHSPE. You got to look at it. It's told her I was telling you about it because there's some things that you might not know that will impact you at the worst possible time." So like everybody, she said, "Yeah, okay, I will. And I could tell that she won't. And it's like zombie land. And you just have to learn when it's too late. You have to, she said, "Is it the King James Bible?" And I said, "Well, it's an addendum." And she said, and I could see that, she don't want no part of it. A lot of people are like that, where they immediately, that's all they know, don't care if it's about deception. And it's like the Twilight Zone. I wish I could be more positive, but there ain't no love for that type of knowledge in this situation. It's like religion it's like, it tells you, you got, follow me, subscribe to me, and I'll give you one ticket. It says admit one into the highest heaven. And it's such a good deal that you shut people's ears. They don't want to listen to anything else. So you have this thing in you. You're able to follow the Creator. You know, he got away. The brother here said, I want to hug you all, man. And you got to think the creator, he the same way. He just does things differently. You know, it seems to me that the creator, he lifts up a reality where people want to, they feel like that. They want to hug each other. That sounds like the ethereal realm to me, man, for real. That's how, I mean, you know, I'm sorry, but that's that's what the ethereal realm sound like to me. And when you believe that, man, you will endure, you'll go to the end of your life. I mean, you know, speaking for myself, you know, I realize that, you know, a lot of people might not be able to be that way, you know. See, Dave says, all religions and doctrine, yeah. This is an amazing situation that we're in. I'm telling you, man, just that little interaction that you have with people. Be talking to that girl, you know, she was real pretty. You know, her eyelashes seemed to stretch like 3 feet ahead of her, man. It was gaudy, if I must admit. You know, it's popular with women and fake eyelashes, man. I hate them things, man. They look so ugly. I can't even look at somebody who, you know, but it worked for her, so that's, you know, all that matters. And but she was someone, just in talking with her, you know, she I could just see her spirit, how there ain't nothing that I could tell her. I see the sense that was the spirit that came off of that she ain't gonna listen to anything I have to say about anything spiritual. And I'm sorry to have to admit that, but it's like sometimes you can feel a person and they're puffed up and they just, you know, it's like almost like her saying, hey, how you doing? You know, like she was doing me a favor, that, you know, looking at me, I'm a brother, nobody will talk to him. He probably needs a little show of love, and you're going to speak to me and, you know, make my day. And now, it sounds harsh, but I think they're really like that. You know, they are really, really like that. And I would even say that the creator, I would say that he even uses people, he disguises people like that, you know, broke down people. You look at them, they ain't got nothing to offer, and they try to speak up and tell you something, you know, and they just blow you off like, you know, shut up, you know, well, you know, yeah, everybody's you know, a pastor, preacher, you know, it's too bad because you don't know, you can't tell the wheat from the chaff. Conditioning, indoctrination, religion. It's, man, this, you could go on about, I mean, when the creator, I mean, he just does that. He gives you that. He just seems to give you that discernment, the reality where you are, discernment, the spirit that people are under. You know, I'm just a people person, man. I'm a people person. I love trying to see who's real and who's not. I just have to admit, you know, some of you, brother, you may be under that situation too. I don't know why I'm like that, but it helps me to, for some reason, it helps me to gravitate to the creator. I can't explain it, but it helped me to desire the creator. It just helped me to desiring, you know. And then in my discernment, I could be wrong, but I can't help but making discernments, and whether people are being real or whether they're being fake. And in other words, whether you would act that way before the creator, or if you were really always, if you act the way that if you are who you are. If you were before the creator, would you act like that? Would you say that? Would you do that? Now, you know, that's a big wormhole right there, because it would convict us all. But anyway, so looking back at the OAHSPE here, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my room and look at some verses there that I have shared. So I like to find, just pick out verses that I think brethren may like to read. So I'm going to do that real quick. Look at some of the things that I have found. Now, this comes from actually the study that I was going to look at. This is a little taste of the study that I was going to look at. It comes from the summary of the OAHSPE Bible that I was going to look at. This is a little taste right here. So it's something that I could share, and until I could figure out how to upload that or show the Microsoft Word document on my on StreamYard. It might not let me do it. I hope it does. I'm trying to find out. Here's some little excerpt from the study I was going to do. Is from the book of Thor. It says each cycle describes their unique battles against the supporters of Romanius. Romanius, that's the only thing mentioned in the OAHSPE Bible that the Creator, he says he hates. And you know what that is? The negative vibration. Dave will correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the evil vibration. And Romanius, that's the Tetrak. And Romanius is the only thing I recall a brother telling me that the Creator says he hates in the OAHSPE. And Romanius, a false god. Each cycle describes their unique battles against the supporters of Romanius. Each cycle, each arch cycle, from what I understand, they're different, 23, 24 arc cycles or gods, and the OAHSPE, he's saying here, each cycle, it describes their unique battles against the supporters of Romanius, meaning you defeat them in one area, they come up with another until another arc god comes on the scene, he deals with that, and then they defeat that, and then they come up with another way, another affliction of man to try to put out the light, and another arc god shows up, he deals with that, puts that out, and it's just a constant struggle, man. If it ain't one thing, it's another. And Romanius, man, that's our enemy. He's the negative vibration, the anti-creator, the false god, fighting the light and the believers in his goodness. And Romanius, man, all the time, you in a fight. Don't you know you in a fight, man? This false god, he don't let up, man. If it ain't one thing, it's another. Here come another bad attitude. Here come another, affliction, another vexation, and brethren arguing and fighting with one another, and he don't let up, man. And Romanius is his name, brethren. You know who he is. It said it was no different with Thor. What was exceptional was the complexity and coordination it took to connect 24 billion spirits. Look at that. That was the number lost in the Great Flood when Pan went down, the continent of Pan. Look, with their families and loved ones. The task seemed insurmountable. Meanwhile, the Creator angels taught the faithful on earth, how to write. As the planet began to repopulate, disbelief in the Creator became prevalent. See, there you go again, man. The Creator just can't get a foothold in the mind of men. It said false gods, goddesses, angels sprang up, and different tribes and languages emerged, causing significant confusion and adding to the confusion as to whom to believe, the Creator, imposters, and space lords. And then here's another excerpt from what I wanted to read to y'all for the summarization of the OAHSPE. Here, the brother, he wrote the book of Sedantes. He said Sedantes, and I think that's what I was referring to. I was looking for this earlier in the study. I wanted to try to show it on the screen. I couldn't. And this is what I think it's something I thought was interesting. I didn't know. Wanted to share it. It says Sedantes, he was the first god of the earth, of the administration of the earth, to get the evolution program started, if I'm not mistaken. His name was Sedantes. Here's a book on him. It says Siddhartha, an archangel. He had no, look at this, he had no experiential knowledge of the earth. And that's something. The guy who did this summary is a PhD, Brother Kendall. He says Siddhartha was an archangel and he had no experiential knowledge of the earth. Look at that. Or any planet. He didn't have no experience of the earth or any planet. It says, since he had his counsel, or it says, let me read it again. It says Siddhartha. Now, Siddhartha was an archangel, high-raised being in the Ethereum, right? It says Siddhartha is an archangel. He had no experiential knowledge of the earth or any planet since he and his counsel had died as infants in the world. That's what I wanted to point out. I couldn't find it earlier, but check it out. Do you know Siddhartha was an infant that had died in their world? And then, see, isn't that deep? That tells you a little bit about abortions in this country. These children, they could go and be spirit gods and other, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that what it's saying here? Can't you properly deduce what he's saying here and extrapolate that the same is true for those who are aborted and the plans that the Creator could have for them? See, nobody is lost. Siddhartha was an infant who had died in another world. If I'm not mistaken, what he's saying here. He says Siddhartha is an archangel. He had no experiential knowledge of Earth or any planet since he and his counsel had died as infants in their world. It said the Earth was divided into 5. So he's going on here. See, his he's making points here. That's one point he makes about the book of Siddhartha. He's going on. He's making another point. He says the earth was divided into 5 continents. And then another point is the continent of Pan. This is a summary of the book of Siddhartha. It's not comprehensive, but it's enough to, so now when you read it, you can see these bullet points. You can get yourself a good understanding, help you see the Creator, how he does things, attain to his voice. See? He says the continent of Pan, or Waga, no longer existed because of a great deluge. Okay, that's another point he's making. He's making another point. He says Pan is also known as Mu or Lemur. Now, if we did a word search on that, these are other worlds or other continents or whatever, or cities or lost or Atlantis, I think, or however you want to describe them. Here it says Lemura and Mu are both names for a lost continent. That's Pan. But they are different in some ways. Their origin, it says Mu was first used by Augustus Pelagion to refer to Atlantis, the legendary lost continent. So the legendary lost continent is Pan, and they called it Atlantis. Later, Mu was the concept of Lemuria, which he believed was located in the Pacific Ocean. And then the location is right out here where I live. Every day I go by that ocean, Pacific Ocean. Let me see. The computer says I'm not sharing. Yeah, I am sharing. Okay. Every time I go to the VA, I have to go by the Pacific Ocean, and I look out there. I say, man, there used to be a whole continent out there, and now it ain't nothing but water. Look at that. And I always stare at the Pacific and just be thinking about that. I mean, just so vast. Anyway, paleontologists say that they believe Mu was located in the Pacific Ocean, somewhere between Hawaii and the Fijis and Easter Island, and the history of it, the size of it. So let me get back. So when it's talked about go back to my room here. The brother, he as part of the book of Siddhartha, he's pointing out that Pan is also known as Mu or Lemur. He says Sedantes explains that as there are factories, schools, and hospitals on earth, they also exist in heaven. See? How do you like that when we cross over? Let me see. David says, not quite correct. Sedantes did have a corporal existence on another planet. Now, some of the spirits which with him had died in infancy. Okay, so now, see, that's actually, you know what, I had a question about this too. I said, wait a minute. If he, now, let's see, he said that Sedantes was an archangel and that he had no experiential knowledge of earth nor of any planet since he and his council had died as infants in the world. Okay, so Dave, I'm going to ask him about this. I'm going to bring this to his attention and see what he says. So it's going to be interesting to see his, to get his point of view, because you're saying that Sedantes did have a corporal existence. See, that's another thing too, that when we read these things, that none of us have the perfect understandings, but I bet there's a reason why he's saying what he said here. God's a PhD, so I'm going to certainly ask him about this, Dave. I'm going to certainly ask him about this. He said that Sedantes had no experiential knowledge of the earth or any planet. Now, that's the statement he's making. Dave, you said, but he did have a corporal existence on another planet. So one of you is, I mean, you have differing opinions here. I'd love to see, well, actually, I'd like to determine for myself, but I need the criteria so I can make a decision for my own self and decide what I think. So that'd be interesting. Now, the doctor here says that Sedantes had no experiential knowledge. All right. Dave says he did. So Wednesday in the Bible study, I'm going to make sure I ask him that. Is there a verse we can look at that makes your point, Dave? And then I'm going to take that to him as well. I can look at the book of Sedantes myself too and see what, will that give me the information I'm looking for so far as the origins of his Sedantes? I'd like to know. That'd be interesting. So I'm going to keep going. Dave, if you want to show something that points out that he did have experiential knowledge of Earth or any other planet, let me see it so I could consider it. And then another point he makes is, where I left off, it says they have factories, schools, and hospitals on Earth. They exist in the heavens. Yeah. So I remember reading that. So I know that that's right. Factories, schools, hospitals in heaven for, like, it mentions people who come out of warfare. They have to go to the hospital. They got to be cared for by Ethereans, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that something? There are factories and hospitals in heaven. See, we think, materially that there's matter everywhere. You know what, brother? I have an interesting question. Let me see if somebody can answer this. Do they take showers in the spiritual? Can somebody answer that question? Do they take showers in the spiritual? Do they wash themselves? I'm not trying to be kooky. I'm for real. Can anybody answer that? You know what I mean? It says, he puts forth how God's will, so talking about Sedantes and this administration of the earth. And Dave, again, thanks for pointing that out, okay? Thanks for pointing that out. It says, he puts forth, and you know what? The new moon, I forgot to mention that. It's coming in my mind now. And I want to say it before I forget about it. You better know there's a new moon on the 29th. Did y'all hear about that? Oh, it's time for the end of the video. There is a new moon on the 29th of September. How do you guys look at this? Can you see the screen? Now, I'm looking at this from a vibrational standpoint. What is the meaning behind this? Scientists have calculated that Earth will capture how the Earth is in orbit, and have you ever seen a vortex in the ocean, and things that are far away, they get caught in the vortex? And same thing with this new moon here. It's in orbit somewhere, and it can get caught into our atmosphere, become part of our vortex, but it could spring out of our vortex too. Evidently, that's what this thing is going to do. It's going to come into our is atmosphere or galaxy or solar system the right word? I think solar system is the right word. I think, I think solar system. It says that this is a second moon, and it's going to happen on Sunday. It says the mini moon comes in the form of the tiny asteroid, and then its name, 2024 PK5, which usually orbits the sun as part of a small asteroid belt that follows the Earth. So that's interesting from a vibrational standpoint. Will there be some disruption? That's the importance of this thing right here. So let me see. So let me go back to the room. Let me see. Dave says, how would Sedantes know about schools, factories, and such if he had no corporal knowledge? See, that's a good question. Now I can take that to the doctor. He's not beyond making mistakes. That's what faithists do. We give grace to brethren. We treat brethren with grace. I know I say a lot of things that are off or inaccurate, and I just keep asking the Creator to help me. Now, see, that's a good question. How would Sedantes know about schools, factories, and such if he had no corporal knowledge? Now, let's read it again. It said that the earth was divided, and the continent of Pan. It says Sedantes explains that there are schools, factories, schools, and hospitals on earth. But let's see, he says Sedantes explains that as there are factories, schools, and hospitals on earth, they also exist in the heavens. Okay, now I could play devil's advocate with you, Dave, and I could say that he has a knowledge that as above, so below. Let's say like that, but it doesn't mean that he has corporal knowledge. It doesn't mean that let's say like he had no knowledge of sex. Sedantes. It depends on what corporal knowledge is the issue. You see? I'm going to bring this to the doctor and see what he says. But it's a fascinating statement and points that you both are making. So I can't wait to. Matter of fact, I'm going to send him an email. I don't think he answers them too well, but I'll try. It says he put forth how God's will was more robust than the AG. Talking about the time that comes on the earth. It brings with it a reaction in men. It brings with it a vibration in men. For those who are unripe, it brings about a vibration of war, chaos, and a grasping type of spirit. Talking about AG here. He says he puts forth how God's will was more robust than AG, and how their native worlds are no longer in existence. Meanwhile, Sedantes ascended, the first harvest of angels born on earth. Okay, so that's interesting, All right, well, shoot, man, that will conclude the reading of the word. That will conclude the video. Time kind of got away from us there, So what I could do is, let me put the link in the room, see if anybody wants to have a final word before we close the video. Interesting. I gotta find. I don't know. I hope that there's a way. I'm going to try to find out if I can share Microsoft Word on StreamYard. Probably won't let you do it, but I'm gonna see if I can find a way. I think I have. You can copy and paste it on maybe Notepad, and then just I don't know if Notepad, if I'll even be able to bring that and show my screen with that. Well, these computers are something else, man. You know. Oh man, I'm surprised I was even being heard. I'm looking at my microphone now, and the light isn't even on. What's going on? Second time. Did I hit the button? No. I don't know. This plug here. So I might have been broadcasting, so might not have even been using my microphone. I didn't know the light was on. I might not even need this microphone. Oh well, it makes me feel like I'm. It makes me feel like I'm broadcasting. So looks like my computer picked me up without the microphone. So it's cool. No deal. No thing. But all right. So, brethren, what do you think? Anybody have a comment or anything? Thanks for joining me, man. It's a pleasure to be able to minister. I don't personally. I tell you, man. I know I say it all the time. People are a miracle to me, both faithists and those who are not faithists. I mean, I don't really. The only people who I see that can have any sort of peace in this reality are faithists. I mean, it's not easy to see the things that you place your trust in, and when their foundations start cracking, to feel secure, to feel safe, to feel at peace, to feel protection. And I'm just a brother who constantly, I like to, the Creator, he says that the doors to his kingdom are everywhere, meaning you can learn a lesson everywhere, every day, all the time in your life, so that you might endure the present darkness. I think that there is the present darkness, the AG on one hand that affects the unright, and then there's the AG that has a vibration on those who are ascending and elevating. So shoot, man, brethren, I think that's the best I can do for right now. If nobody wants to share anything, then I can go ahead and close the video. Hopefully, the Creator, he'll give me grace to figure out how to upload the file, because I'm gonna love to read that file to you, brother. The brother's summarization of the OAHSPE. I mean, that's what a lot of you brethren I know are looking for, a good summary. So then you can go into the book, you can see the bullet points, and you can get an idea of where the Creator is coming from with the OAHSPE. You can get a good foundation going, in the sense that you can read it, you can learn what they struggled with in other arc cycles, things people did, the development of the human mind, going, learning, elevating how to, live in reality and coming into the light and being able to attain to the Creator's voice, that sort of thing. Well, brethren, that's it. That's the best I can do for right now, man. Thank you for joining me. Give thanks to the Creator. Pray that he give you the ability to deal with the tetracts, to give us the wisdom, to give us the knowledge, to give us the assurance, to give us the insight, the discernment, and to help us to elevate spiritually. I pray the Creator do all these things for us. I personally want to thank you for joining me. blessing me with your company. So tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Thank you, brethren, again. And until I see you again on video, Creator willing, peace be unto you. Shalom.